Hello and welcome back to Horoscope TV. We are so happy you're here with us.
We really are.
Whether you're, on your commute, maybe at the gym, or, and let's be honest, maybe hiding in a closet at work, just trying to get 5 minutes of peace.
We see you.
We see you and we are glad you're here. Today, we are turning the cosmic lens on one specific sign. And if you're an Aquarius, or maybe you're an Aquarius rising.
Or you just have that heavy Aquarius stellium.
Right. The one that makes you feel like the alien in the room most of the time, then you are definitely going to want to sit down for this one.
That is very good advice, truly.
Yeah.
And honestly, even if you're not an Aquarius, but say you're married to one, or your boss is one.
Oh, definitely if your boss is an Aquarius.
You should probably listen, because the forecast we're analyzing for February 2026 is, well, it's distinct.
Distinct is a very polite, very diplomatic way of putting it. We were going through the astrological data, calculating the transits, the aspects, and I literally had to keep double-checking the charts because intense feels like a massive understatement. It looks like the universe isn't just suggesting a change.
Not at all.
It looks like it's planning a full-scale intervention.
It really does. If you look at the charts, specifically the concentration of energy in the fixed signs, we're seeing this convergence that points to a total system reboot.
A reboot.
Yeah, think about your computer or your phone. Sometimes it gets glitchy, right? Things are running slow. Apps keep crashing.
The spinning wheel of death, my personal nightmare.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you try the small fixes first. You close the app, you delete a file, but nothing works. Eventually, you have no choice but to do the hard reset.
You hold down the buttons.
You hold them down, the screen goes black, and the machine completely restarts.
And you have that split second of sheer panic where you're like, is it ever going to turn back on?
That is the moment. That is February 2026 for the sign of Aquarius. The planetary alignment suggests a massive reset is coming. We're talking about a profound alteration in the trajectory of your life path. This isn't just about, changing your hairstyle.
But that might happen too, let's be real.
That is very likely to happen too.
Right.
But we are talking about changing the fundamental operating system of your life.
Okay, let's really unpack that because when I hear reset, part of me gets really excited. Fresh start, clean slate, great. But the other part of me thinks, chaos, destruction, losing all my unsaved data. So what's the driving force? What is the headline event causing this massive energy surge?
The headline event, the celestial anchor that everything else is orbiting around this month, is a powerful solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius.
A solar eclipse in your own sign. I know enough to know that's a big deal, but can you just walk us through the sheer magnitude of that?
It's a major event. Eclipses happen in pairs, usually every 6 months or so. But getting a solar eclipse in your first house, the house of your identity, that's rare.
How rare are we talking?
In this specific, potent way, it might only happen once every couple of decades. The core concept here, if we had to put a label on the entire month, is new identity.
New identity.
The universe is essentially pushing you, shoving you, really, to step into a new version of yourself. And it's important to note, it's not asking nicely. This is not a polite email suggestion.
This is a demand.
This is a demand for an upgrade.
Wow. That sounds heavy, but also, I have to admit, kind of thrilling. There's something electric about the idea that you have to change, that staying the same isn't an option.
It's the full spectrum of emotion. The emotional landscape for February is absolutely going to be a mix of extreme excitement and, to be frank, some genuine fear. We're building up to this huge crescendo mid-month.
Okay, give me an analogy.
Imagine you're standing on the edge of a high diving board. You climbed all the way up because you wanted to jump. You're excited for that feeling of flying through the air.
Right.
But then you look down and your stomach just drops and your lizard brain screams, "Don't do it. This is a terrible idea."
Go back down the ladder. Abort mission.
Exactly. But in this scenario, the universe has come along and kicked the ladder away. You have to jump.
There's no going back.
No going back. And looking at the timeline of the month, it's not like you just have this one event to deal with. It feels like we're getting hit from all sides.
Totally. We start with a super dramatic full moon in Leo right out of the gate. And then we have this eclipse energy that you described it perfectly earlier. It leaves you feeling tired and wired at the same time.
Tired and wired is the perfect physiological description. It's a nervous system overload. You have the sun, the moon, and Mercury all activating your sign, your very essence.
Right.
And we absolutely cannot ignore the end of the month.
Oh, I saw that. It looks dicey.
There are some very specific danger dates involving Mars and Uranus that we really need to flag. It's a volatile cocktail, if you aren't paying attention.
Okay, we will definitely get to those warning labels. We'll break down exactly how to navigate that so nobody gets hurt. But let's start with the main event. Let's really dive into this solar eclipse and what it means for personal identity. It's on February 17th, right?
February 17th, yes. If you have a calendar, circle it in red, and maybe circle the 2 days before and the 2 days after it as well. Give it a wide berth.
A 5-day eclipse zone. Got it. So let's get into the mechanics. What is actually happening in the sky? And why does a solar eclipse in Aquarius mean so much for an Aquarius specifically?
So astronomically, a solar eclipse is when the new moon passes between the sun and the earth, and it temporarily blocks the light of the sun.
Right, the sky goes dark. It's very dramatic.
It's very dramatic.
Yeah.
And astrologically, a new moon is always about beginnings. It's for planting seeds, starting new cycles. But a solar eclipse is a new moon on steroids.
A new moon with a lightning bolt attached.
Exactly. It's a supercharged, fated beginning. It often brings events that feel meant to be or completely unavoidable.
Like the hand of fate is coming down and moving the pieces on the chessboard.
Precisely. Now, for you, Aquarius, this is all happening in your first house. The first house is the house of self. It governs your physical body, your personality, your appearance, how you introduce yourself, your personal brand.
So basically, the interface you use to interact with the entire world.
That's the perfect term for it. It's your interface. It's the I am sector of your chart. And when a solar eclipse hits there, it acts as a cosmic reset button for your entire life path.
So it's not just resetting one area like relationships or career, it's resetting the core programming, the who am I?
It is. This isn't who am I in a relationship or who am I at work.
Yeah.
It is who am I when nobody else is around? And also, how do I present that self to the world?
So what does that look like in practice? What might someone actually do?
Well, on a surface level, you might feel a sudden, overwhelming urge to change how you look. You might wake up one morning, look in your closet, and feel like you're looking at a costume for a person you don't even know anymore.
You just want to throw it all out.
All of it. You might get a radical haircut. You might decide to start going by your middle name or a nickname, something that feels more you.
So this is the month an Aquarius might look in the mirror and just say, I don't recognize this person and I need to be someone else.
Yes, but it goes so much deeper than just vanity or aesthetics. It's about rewriting the rules of who you are.
How do you mean?
You might have this sudden, shocking realization that you've been playing a role for years. You've been the reliable one, or the eccentric one, or the rebellious outsider.
The label everyone else gave you.
And you suddenly decide you do not want to play that character anymore. The script is boring, the costume is uncomfortable, and you're quitting the show.
But the interesting thing looking at the chart is that this doesn't just explode out of nowhere on the 17th.
Not at all. The energy is building. The pressure starts mounting much earlier in the month.
Right, I saw a note here about February 5th. There's a tricky aspect between Mercury and Uranus. A square.
Yes, Mercury square Uranus. That's on February 5th, and it's our first big clue that the system is becoming unstable.
So let's break that down. Mercury is the mind, right? Communication, thoughts, data.
Correct. And Uranus is the modern ruling planet of Aquarius. It's the planet of lightning strikes, sudden changes, rebellion, electricity. It's your home planet.
And a square aspect is tension. It's friction.
A square is a 90-degree angle between planets. Astrologically, it's like two planets bumping shoulders hard in a crowded hallway. It creates conflict. They don't see eye to eye. When Mercury and Uranus square off, it creates a mental landscape of racing thoughts. It's extremely high-voltage mental energy.
So it feels like your brain is moving way faster than your mouth can keep up.
Exactly that. You might find yourself speaking too quickly, stumbling over your words. You might interrupt people, not because you're trying to be rude, but because you've already finished their sentence in your head 3 times, and you're on to the next topic.
I can feel the anxiety just thinking about it.
It can be very anxiety-inducing. You might have these incredible flashes of insight, just pure genius ideas that come so fast you can't even write them down. But the danger there is that your mind is moving so much faster than physical reality can keep up.
It sounds completely exhausting, like you're burning out your own circuits.
It can be.
Yeah.
It can feel like you've had 10 espressos when you've had none. You are feeling the rumble of the eclipse long before the volcano actually blows. Your internal processor is overclocking.
So what's the advice for that early part of the month, around the 5th? How do you manage that?
Radical patience and grounding. You have to understand that your mind is a runaway train. If you try to force the rest of the world to move at your speed, you're going to crash and burn.
So deep breaths, go for a walk. Don't send the angry email.
Do not send the angry email. Write it,
Huh.
Save it in your drafts and look at it the next day. You need to give reality a chance to catch up with your brain.
So why is the universe doing this? Why this demand for a total upgrade in self-perception? Why can't we just, stay who we are?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
And the answer is because the old version of you can't carry the new opportunities that are coming.
Ah.
You used the reboot analogy earlier. You can't run the latest, most powerful software on an operating system from 10 years ago. It won't work. It'll crash. The universe has something new in store for Aquarius. New responsibilities, new creative paths, new relationships, and you have to update your software, meaning your identity, to be able to run the new program.
That makes a lot of sense. It's growing pains, basically. Uncomfortable, but necessary for the next level.
Precisely.
But while you're busy having this massive identity crisis and rebooting your internal software, life goes on around you.
Life does not stop for an eclipse.
And specifically, relationships go on. And this is where I think it gets really tricky, because if I fundamentally change who I am, that has to change how I relate to other people.
It has to.
So let's move into that. Let's talk about love, romance, and relationships. Because February starts with an absolute bang in this department.
It really does. On literally day 1, February 1st, we have a full moon in the sign of Leo.
And for our listeners who are Aquarius, Leo is the opposite sign on the zodiac wheel. Correct. It's your polar opposite.
That's correct. Every sign has a polarity, an opposite that balances it. Aries has Libra, Taurus has Scorpio, and Aquarius has Leo.
And what area of life does that rule for Aquarius?
Leo rules the 7th house for Aquarius, which is the sector of one-on-one partnerships, marriage, business partners, committed relationships. So while the eclipse later in the month is all about me, the 1st house.
This full moon on the 1st is entirely about we, the 7th house.
Exactly. It's a perfect cosmic setup. You can't figure out who I am without first looking at who we are.
And a full moon is typically a climax point, right? A completion or a revelation.
It brings things to a head. The new moon plants the seed. The full moon is the harvest, or the moment the flower blooms, or sometimes when the weed is revealed for what it is. It's a major climax point for partnerships.
And because it's in Leo, I'm guessing it's not going to be a subtle, quiet little moment.
Not in the slightest. Leo energy is dramatic, it's fiery, it's passionate, it's theatrical, it loves the spotlight.
So we are not talking about a quiet, mature conversation over a cup of tea.
No. We're talking about grand declarations. We're talking about big public displays. You might see decisions to take things to the next level, like a sudden engagement, a huge proposal on the Jumbotron, a decision to move in together announced at a party.
The ultimate romantic gesture.
Or, conversely, because the bright light of the full moon exposes all the cracks in the foundation, you might see the dramatic ending of things that just aren't working anymore.
So it's very all or nothing, no middle ground.
Very little middle ground. The vibe is high drama, grand gestures, it's passion versus ego, and you're trying to balance your own personal needs, which are getting louder and louder because of that approaching eclipse in your sign, with your partner's needs, which are being intensely highlighted by this Leo full moon.
That sounds like a tough balancing act.
It is. Leo demands attention and appreciation. Your partner might be saying, hey, look at me, validate me, applaud me. Right at the exact moment you're trying to go inward to figure out who you even are.
I can't applaud you right now. I'm having an existential crisis.
That's the conflict in a nutshell.
What about if you're single? Is this a good time to be out there meeting people, or is it just way too chaotic?
Actually, yes. It's a very potent time to meet someone. The potential for sudden dramatic meetings is high. Leo energy is about being seen and admired. You might literally spot someone across a crowded room, that classic movie trope, or more likely someone will spot you.
So it's main character energy.
It is peak main character energy. You will attract attention under this transit, so if you're single, it's a good time to be out and about.
Okay, so we have this fiery, dramatic, theatrical start to the month. But then the energy shifts pretty dramatically. On February 10th, Venus enters Pisces. That feels like a total 180 from Leo fire.
It is a significant and welcome shift. We move from the external, performative fire of Leo to the internal, spiritual, and empathetic water of Pisces.
It's like going from a rock concert to a yoga retreat.
That's a great way to put it. Now, we have to look at where Pisces falls in the Aquarius chart to understand the impact.
Right, the houses are everything.
Pisces is the 2nd house for an Aquarius. Now, usually we think of the 2nd house as money, income, possessions, and we will definitely get to that later.
Okay.
But on a deeper level, the 2nd house is also the house of self-worth and values, what you truly value in life. When Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and attraction, moves into this zone, It profoundly changes what you were looking for in a partner.
How so? What's the
You
shift?
stop caring so much about the show of the relationship. The Leo full moon was about the impressive Instagram photo, the public status, the partner who
Yep.
looks good on your arm.
External validation.
Exactly. Venus in Pisces is about the soul. You start caring about the deep, empathetic, almost psychic connection.
So it's less about the grand gesture and much more about, do you get me on a spiritual level? Can you sit with me in silence and it's not awkward?
Precisely. You begin to desire a connection that is supportive, compassionate, and spiritual, not just fun or impressive.
Mm.
And here's where it gets really interesting because we have to connect this back to the eclipse.
Your ripple effect.
Yes, the identity shift that's happening on February 17th completely changes who you attract. If you change your own frequency, you change what you resonate with.
Can you explain that a little more?
Think about it like a radio. If you've been tuned to a chaotic rock station your whole life, you're going to attract people who like that music.
Mm-hmm.
But if, during this eclipse, you decide you're more of a classical music person, you're going to start attracting people who appreciate a different kind of harmony. This new confidence you're building, this new sense of self, it leads to new admirers. Or it completely shifts the dynamic with a current partner.
Because you're rewriting the rules of who you are, so naturally the people around you have to adjust or leave.
They have to. The old contract is void.
But there is a warning here. We can't paint this all as rosy spiritual bonding and soulmate connections. Later in the month, things get messy. February 26th, Mercury goes retrograde.
Ah, yes. The classic Mercury retrograde, everyone's favorite cosmic scapegoat.
And it happens in that same sector, right? Pisces, the house of self-worth and values.
The exact same place, which makes it particularly tricky.
So what are the risks here, specifically for relationships?
Misinterpretation is the big one. Mercury retrograde scrambles the signal. Communication goes haywire. You might misread a text from your partner and spiral into thinking they don't value you.
Been there.
We all have. You might perceive a slight where there absolutely wasn't one. Or you might just feel deeply insecure about where you stand in the relationship. And because retrograde means going back, this is prime time for ex-lovers to resurface.
The dreaded "Hey stranger" text at 11 p.m.
Precisely. Or an email out of the blue. Or you just find yourself thinking about him. A lot. The ghosts of relationships past come out to haunt you. You might be replaying old tapes, wondering what if, or obsessing over what went wrong 3 years ago.
So what's the strategy? Block their number.
The strategy is to use this time to heal old wounds, not to start new fights. If an ex comes back, it's likely a test from the universe to see if you'll fall back into old patterns. Process the past. Don't project it onto your present partner.
Speaking of fights, though, the very next day, February 27th, we have that Mars square Uranus aspect we mentioned. That sounds explosive for a relationship.
That is the volatility spike. It's a huge one. Mars is the planet of aggression, drive, anger, and war. Uranus is sudden change, freedom, and rebellion. When they square off, it creates an intense, almost unbearable craving for freedom. It's a pressure cooker.
So if you feel even slightly boxed in by a relationship,
You might lash out. If you feel controlled or smothered, even a little bit, you might just explode.
like a caged animal rattling the bars.
Yes, it's a primal need for space. It is absolutely vital to communicate your need for space clearly and calmly before you reach that boiling point. Otherwise, you might pick a huge fight over something tiny, just to break the tension, just to get some breathing room.
And with Mercury retrograde at the same exact time, you probably won't communicate it well at all.
You will almost certainly communicate it poorly, so pause. Count to 10. Leave the room. Go for a long walk before you speak.
Okay, that is a lot to handle in 1 month for the heart. Let's look at where all this is happening. We've covered the self and the heart. Let's talk about the sanctuary. Segment 3, home, family, and domestic life.
This is an area that has probably been a source of deep frustration for a lot of Aquarians lately. But on February 4th, we finally get some good news. Uranus turns direct.
And Uranus is the ruling planet for Aquarius, so this is big news regardless. But where has Uranus been hanging out in the chart?
Uranus has been in the sign of Taurus for quite a while now. For Aquarius, Taurus rules the 4th house. The 4th house is the foundation of the chart. It's your home, your family, your roots, your ancestry, your physical real estate.
And Uranus has been retrograde in that sector.
Yes, for about 5 months. When a slow-moving, disruptive planet like Uranus is retrograde in your home sector, it usually manifests as stagnation, delays, or internal chaos.
What would that feel like?
It could be a home renovation that never, ever ends.
Yeah.
The contractor who just disappears for 3 weeks at a time, or a simmering family argument that just goes around in circles with no resolution, or just feeling hopelessly stuck in a living situation you don't like, but you can't find a way out.
And when it turns direct on the 4th, what happens?
The stagnation breaks, the log jam clears, the gears start turning again. The energy, which has been turned inward, now pushes outward. If those housing situations or family issues felt stuck, they will start moving, and moving fast.
So this could be the time you finally find the new apartment or the offer on your house comes through.
Exactly. It's the moment of decision in forward motion. The possibility of finally resolving those long-standing issues with relatives is very high. The uncomfortable silence breaks.
But I'm sensing a but here.
There is. It also introduces a new tension. The balance between your domestic life and your soaring personal ambition.
How so?
Well, Uranus is now direct and active. It's loud. It demands attention. So just as things at home are finally moving, hey, we're finally fixing the roof, or mom needs help moving, or the landlord is selling the building, your career and your personal identity are taking off because of the eclipse.
It's a tug of war for your attention.
It's the classic tug of war. I want to go out and reinvent myself and save the world, but I also need to call the plumber.
I know that feeling well.
And with Uranus involved, the plumber might be a metaphor for a sudden electrical issue in the kitchen, or your Wi-Fi going down right before a big meeting. It's unpredictable domestic energy that demands you stay flexible.
Which leads us perfectly into the next area of life, because usually when home life gets crazy, we try to escape to our work. So let's talk about career, ambition, and professional image. Because if you're reinventing yourself with that eclipse, that has to show up at work, doesn't it?
It absolutely has to. The eclipse factor is massive here. Even though the February 17th eclipse is technically in the first house of self, it has a huge ripple effect on your career because it changes your professional image.
It changes your brand.
It completely changes your personal brand. The first house is your persona. It's how you come across. In a professional context, it's your reputation, it's the energy you bring into a room.
Visibility seems like the key word here.
High visibility.
Yeah.
That's it. You have the power to make a very strong, lasting impression right now. People are looking at you. They're noticing you. This is a fantastic time to start a project that is entirely your own.
So step up and take the lead.
If you've been hiding in the background, working on a team, this eclipse pushes you to center stage. You might volunteer to lead that new project, or you might finally pitch that bold, innovative idea you've been sitting on for months.
Because you have the new identity, the new confidence to actually back it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You feel different, so you act differently, and so people start to treat you differently. They see you as a leader.
But there's another massive planetary shift happening that we haven't touched on yet, and it involves Saturn.
Ah, Saturn. The great teacher. The Lord of Karma.
The planet everyone loves to hate, but also the one that actually helps you build something real.
So true. On February 14th, Happy Valentine's Day, Saturn changes signs. It leaves Pisces and enters Aries.
That is a huge ingress. Saturn moves so slowly, so when it changes signs, it really does mark a new 2.5-year era. For Aquarius, where does Aries fall in the chart?
Aries is your third house. The third house governs communication, writing, speaking, learning, short-distance travel, your local community, and also your siblings.
So Saturn, the planet of structure, discipline, and hard work, is moving into the house of talking and writing.
Correct. And what does Saturn demand? Wherever it goes, it demands mastery. It demands that you get serious about your skills, specifically, in this case, how you convey information.
So it's the end of winging it in presentations.
It's absolutely the end of winging it. No more faking it until you make it. Saturn in the third house insists that you actually know your stuff.
So what does that look like? Taking a course.
It could be taking a public speaking course or a writing workshop. It's about building real authority through structured ideas and well-chosen words. If you're a writer, this is the time to commit to finishing the book, not just talking about it. If you're in sales, this is the time to refine your pitch until it is absolutely flawless. Saturn rewards diligence.
So if you have a big presentation mid-month, you better be prepared.
You better be over-prepared. If you do the work, Saturn grants you the gift of authority. You become the voice of reason in the room. People listen when you speak. If you slack off, Saturn will mercilessly expose the cracks in your argument.
It's about playing the long game.
Completely. You're laying the foundation for being seen as an authority figure in your field for years to come, but you have to put in the work now.
Now we have to go back to that danger zone, that really volatile patch at the end of the month, February 27th, Mars squares Uranus again. We talked about it for relationships, but how does that energy hit the workplace?
This is the classic take this job and shove it aspect.
Oh, yikes. The Jerry Maguire moment.
It is. You feel that Mars aggression and that Uranian need for rebellion, and in the context of work, where you're trying to forge this new identity, it can manifest as extreme rebellious energy. You might have a sudden, overwhelming urge to quit in a blaze of glory.
You want to tell your boss exactly what you think of their terrible management style, and you won't be polite about it.
Not at all. You want to burn the whole place down on your way out.
And I am guessing, as our expert looking at the long-term charts, you would advise against that impulsive move.
I would strongly, strongly advise against it. Mars square Uranus acts on pure impulse, not strategy. You might feel restricted by the rules and the bureaucracy, but exploding is never the answer. You need to channel that energy into constructive innovation.
So instead of flipping the desk over, maybe propose a radical new way of organizing the digital files.
Exactly. Channel that restless, brilliant, innovative energy into changing the system from within. If you rage quit on the 27th, you will almost certainly regret it on the morning of the 28th.
Especially because Mercury is retrograde on the 26th. The timing is just terrible.
The timing is a cosmic trap. We cannot forget that. You quit your job in a huff, but because of Mercury retrograde, the resignation email doesn't go through. Or you misunderstood the details of the severance package, or you realize you didn't actually have that new job lined up yet.
So the absolute necessity of double-checking all emails and documents is paramount at the end of the month.
Misunderstandings are the enemy. You do not want to burn a professional bridge because of a typo or a misread email. My advice, keep your head down, check your work 3 times, and breathe through the intense frustration.
Okay, so keep it cool at work at the end of the month. Let's talk about the resources that fuel all this ambition. Segment 5, money and finance. Is this a good month for the bank account, or is it as chaotic as everything else?
Actually, amidst all the chaos of identity and relationships, there is a lot of genuinely positive news here, largely thanks to that Pisces influence we touched on earlier.
Right. Pisces again, the second house of income and self-worth.
Yes. On February 6th, Mercury enters Pisces, and then on February 10th, Venus enters Pisces. Having these 2 benefic or traditionally helpful planets moving through your money house is excellent news.
And Venus, the planet of attraction in the money house, sounds particularly lovely.
It is generally very positive for attracting money. Venus attracts, she doesn't chase. This suggests potential for gifts, for bonuses, or just a general sense of financial flow. It's not necessarily hard work money like Saturn provides. It's more like lucky money or flow money.
But Venus also loves to spend money on pretty things.
Oh, she does. The generosity toward oneself energy will be very, very high. It is absolutely a treat-yourself vibe.
If in danger.
You're likely to spend on things that provide emotional satisfaction, beauty, comfort, art, a spa day. You want things that make you feel good and soften the harsh realities of the world.
Which is fine as long as you actually have the money to spend.
Right. But here's the other major factor. The biggest news, really. Saturn is leaving your money sector on February 14th.
Oh, right. If Saturn is entering Aries, the 3rd house, that means it has to exit Pisces, the 2nd house.
Exactly. And Saturn has been in your money house for the last 2.5, almost 3 years.
And Saturn creates restriction, lessons, and a feeling of lack.
Saturn in the money sector feels like heaviness. It's a constant low-grade worry about scarcity. It can feel like no matter how much you make, it's never enough, or unexpected expenses just keep popping up out of nowhere.
And when it leaves on the 14th, what does that feel like?
It will feel like a physical weight lifting off your shoulders. It's like taking off a heavy, wet backpack you've been forced to carry for years. A sense of profound financial relief.
That must feel incredible.
It is. But Saturn is a teacher. He never leaves without giving you a final exam and a diploma. The lesson he leaves you with is new structure. The days of vague financial planning of I think I have enough in my account are over.
So you've learned the value of a dollar the hard way.
You have. And now you can apply that wisdom and that discipline, but without the constant pressure and fear of scarcity.
And there's another specific date to watch regarding money. February 12th. Mercury connects with the North Node. What does that mean?
The North Node represents our destiny, our soul's future path. When Mercury, the planet of communication and commerce, makes a positive connection to the North Node in your money sector, it can hint at a destined financial opportunity or a fated conversation.
Like a surprise job offer or a great investment tip from a friend.
It could be. Or it could even be an idea that just pops into your head that down the line turns into a major revenue stream. Pay very close attention to conversations and ideas that show up around the 12th. It could be the seed of future wealth.
But, as always, we have to end with the red flags, the financial warnings for the end of the month.
Yes, we can't let people go without the warning. Mercury retrograde on the 26th. I will say it as clearly as I possibly can. Do not sign major financial contracts. Do not buy a new computer or phone. Do not buy a car.
Just put the credit card and a block of ice in the freezer?
Essentially, Mercury rules commerce, contracts, and electronics. Retrograde means glitches and misunderstandings. You buy the expensive new laptop, the hard drive fails in a week. You buy the car, it turns out the transmission is shot. You sign the contract, you miss the horrible clause on page 10.
And what about that Mars-Uranus square on the 27th?
That brings the risk of impulse spending. You're angry or frustrated about something else, so you go online and rage spend to feel better.
Retail therapy.
The most dangerous kind. Or you might have unexpected home expenses pop up. Remember, Uranus is now direct in your home sector. The fridge suddenly dies. The water heater bursts. Keep a financial buffer in your account for emergencies.
Okay, so make money early in the month, save it, and be careful late in the month. Got it. Now let's talk about the vessel that carries us through all this chaos. We've talked about the mind and the wallet, but what about the body? Segment 6, health and vitality. With a solar eclipse in the first house, the physical body must be feeling this intensely.
The body is absolutely taking the brunt of this energy. We often think of astrology as just mental or emotional, something happening out there. But the first house is the physical body. A solar eclipse in your sign is a physical reboot, and it is physically draining.
So if you're feeling just bone-deep exhausted around the middle of the month, that's normal.
It is completely normal. And you're likely to feel that tired or wired paradox again. 1 minute you have this manic, buzzing energy, and the next you feel like you could sleep for 12 hours straight.
What's happening? Why does that happen?
Your body is literally trying to adjust to new energy frequencies. It's like your phone getting really hot while it's installing a major software update. Your system is working overtime. The single best piece of advice is to manage the eclipse energy by resting. You need a nap? Take it. Do not apologize for it.
Is it a good time to start a new workout plan? New identity, new body.
It is, but, and this is a really big but wait, a few days after the eclipse. Let the cosmic dust settle. If you try to start a punishing new CrossFit routine on the actual day of the eclipse, February 17th, you're likely to burn out immediately or even injure yourself because your energy levels are so unstable.
So wait until maybe the 20th or 21st.
Exactly. Let your body catch up first.
And we talked about the nervous system getting fried earlier with Uranus turning direct on the 4th.
Yes, that surge of nervous energy is real. The jitters, the restlessness, the feeling like you can't sit still. Your nerves are literally vibrating at a higher frequency. Grounding exercises are absolutely critical for Aquarius this month.
Like what? What can people actually do?
It's simple stuff. Go outside. If you can, take your shoes off and put your bare feet on the grass or the dirt. It sounds a bit out there, but it physically helps to discharge the static electricity that builds up in your system.
I can get behind that. What about the mental health aspect of all this?
With Saturn entering Aries on the 14th, your mental health becomes just as important as your physical health. Saturn in the head-focused sign of Aries can bring on tension headaches, eye strain, or just heavy, depressive, looping thoughts if you aren't careful.
So you need discipline for your mind.
You need to practice mental discipline. Don't allow yourself to just loop on negative thoughts, acknowledge them, and then consciously shift your focus.
And then on February 20th, Saturn gets close to Neptune. That sounds like a weird combination.
It's a very strange combination. Neptune is the planet of fog, dreams, spirituality, and illusions. When Saturn, the planet of hard reality, meets Neptune, the planet of illusion, it can cause intense brain fog, confusion, fatigue. It makes it really hard to focus on anything.
So probably not the best time for a heavy night out drinking.
It is a terrible time for hard substances. Alcohol, caffeine, even sugar. They might hit you much, much harder than usual. Your physical and psychic sensitivity is dialed up to 11. The best thing you can do around the 20th is focus on clean living, hydration, good sleep, simple food.
And one last physical warning for the 27th. Let me guess.
The Mars-Uranus square. We keep coming back to this because it's so potent physically It makes you accident-prone.
How?
You're rushing, you're frustrated, you're distracted by your racing thoughts, and you're just not paying attention to where you're walking.
The classic stub toe, the tripped curb, spilling hot coffee on yourself.
Or worse.
Yeah.
This is a time to slow down your physical movements. Be extremely mindful when you are driving. Do not text and walk. Just be present in your physical body.
Okay, wow. We have covered a massive amount of ground. Let's try to distill all of this down for the listener. We'd like to give them something practical, something they can stick on the fridge. Let's do the cosmic cheat sheet.
Let's do it.
Best dates. If you have to plan something important, a big conversation or a key decision, when should you do it?
Okay. February 3rd is excellent for healing conversations, thanks to some nice, gentle lunar aspects. February 15th, right before the eclipse, the creative flow is really good. And then February 17th, the eclipse itself. It's way too intense for launching external actions, but for setting intentions for your new self. It's the most powerful day of the year.
I like that. Lucky numbers. Any standouts?
I'd say 7, 11, 22, 29, 37, and 49.
Okay, color of the month. This is my favorite part.
Electric blue.
Ooh, tell me why electric blue.
It perfectly matches the electric Uranian energy of your sign and this whole month. It vibrates at the frequency of sudden change and brilliant innovation. It's the color of a lightning strike. Wearing it or having it around helps you align with that high voltage energy rather than feeling shocked by it.
I love that. Okay, now let's talk compatibility. Who is going to be the best match for an Aquarius to lean on this month?
Hands down, Libra.
Why Libra?
Libra is a fellow air sign, so they just get you. They speak your language. But specifically this month, Libra provides the balance to your intensity. When you're in the middle of your identity crisis, the Libra is the calm diplomat smoothing over ruffled feathers with your family or partner. They are incredible listeners, especially around February 3rd, and they're a calming influence during your rebellious phases near the end of the month.
So they won't judge your crazy new idea.
I won't just not judge them, they'll help you make them look pretty and presentable to the world.
I love Libras. Okay, and the flip side. Who is the worst match? Who should we maybe keep a healthy distance from this month?
Taurus.
Oh boy. The bull. Why Taurus?
It's that square aspect tension we talked about. Remember, squares create friction. Taurus is a fixed earth sign. Aquarius is a fixed air sign. Taurus wants tradition, security, stability, predictability.
Everything Aquarius is not this month.
Exactly. Aquarius this month is all about future progress, radical change, and total disruption.
It's the unstoppable force meets the immovable object.
That's the perfect description. And the Uranus factor, the planet of chaos, is in Taurus. So it's a battle of wills, stubborn versus erratic. The Taurus in your life will try to ground you, and you will feel completely suffocated. You'll try to get them to change, and they will dig their heels in even harder. Neither of you is willing to compromise this month.
Good to know. So avoid the bulls if you can, or at least don't try to change their minds about anything.
Correct. Just agree to disagree and maybe meet up again in March.
All right, let's bring this all home. We have analyzed the eclipse, the love life, the career shifts, the money. What is the final analysis, the one big takeaway?
If I had to sum up February 2026 for Aquarius in one breath, it would be this. This is a month of massive, non-negotiable personal reinvention. You have relationship climaxes at the very start, a total identity reboot in the middle, and a critical need for patience and caution with your words, money, and safety at the end. It is not a boring month.
It sounds like a lot, but it also sounds deeply necessary. Like you can't get to the next chapter without it.
It is so necessary. And that would be my final thought for you, the listener. Lean into the reset. Don't be afraid of the change in identity. Don't cling to the old version of you that doesn't fit anymore. The universe is upgrading your software because you are ready for the next level. You are ready for the new version of you.
That is a beautiful and powerful way to put it. Thank you so much for breaking all of this down for us. This has been an absolutely incredible look at the charts.
It's always a pleasure to analyze the stars with you.
And thank you, our wonderful listener, for tuning in to Horoscope TV. We really hope this guide helps you navigate the cosmic waves of this powerful February. If you want to know what happens next month, because trust me, the story continues and we all need to see how that eclipse energy settles, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you'll get notified as soon as the next episode is available.
Good luck out there.
Good luck with the eclipse. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you in the stars.